Hello and welcome to another highlights video of Digital Bricks. As always with every large Microsoft event, we do a quick recap on all of the latest and greatest in artificial intelligence technology by Microsoft. This time we're going to have a look at Microsoft Build, which is taking place from the 19th to the 22nd of May in 2025. Microsoft Build is live right now. There is over 100 sessions which you can look up on the Microsoft Build page. You can attend them, you can have a look at Satya Nadella's keynotes, which I would definitely recommend you, and you can consume content on demand. You just simply have to register over here or sign in if you already have an existing Microsoft Events account, and then you can consume the latest and greatest content by Microsoft. Let's have a look at the book of news and updates. So Microsoft always releases every year a book of news, which we're going to dive into in a bit. That is a document in which you can drill down into all of the releases that have been done over the period of build. The book of news is divided in 7 sections. First, we're going to have a look at AI at work, which are the Microsoft 365 and Copilot Studio capabilities that have been released. Then we're going to jump into the more pro code and advanced scenarios with Microsoft Azure. And in the third chapter, we're going to have a look at business applications. Microsoft didn't release so much news on builds this time on business applications. So you can see really Microsoft's focus is switching away from biz apps more towards artificial intelligence. But we do have some news around Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform as well. In module number 4, we're going to have a look at Microsoft's browser, Edge, which is now infused with more AI capabilities than ever before, making your browsing experience more simplified. Also, security becomes a more and more important aspect. Artificial intelligence offers a lot of new possibilities, but also comes with a certain risk. Microsoft is bringing the right security and responsible AI perspectives into framework with the new security releases. Another focus area that we see Satya Nadella talking about is supporting the agentic web. Browser extensions, browser plugins, robotic process automation, and automating process step forms are a trend that we saw occurring in the beginning of the year and that we really now seeing being implemented at scale. With supporting the agentic web, Microsoft is introducing areas like MCP and the new technology that they've introduced. But also local agentic AI becomes quite important. So therefore, capabilities within Microsoft Windows have been announced. Let's have a look at what's new. And therefore, we start with the book of news itself. You can find the book of news, and we're going to put the hyperlink into the comment section of this video on the news.microsoft/build 2025 book of news. The book of news basically is a summary and a table of contents of all of the releases that have been done. And as you've seen, we've applied a similar structure to this video so we can guide you step by step through the book of news. With AI at work, we're going to have a look at agents, Copilot Studio, Microsoft 365, and Copilot in Microsoft 365. On Azure, we're going to have a look at database and analytics, industry best practices, digital apps, science, and of course, artificial intelligence on top of Microsoft's AI Foundry. In business applications, we will see how business applications infuse also more to the agentic and artificial intelligence workflow. And in Edge, we will see the new browser capabilities. Security is all around security for AI. And in the agentic web, we're going to have a look at Model Context Protocol and the newly announced NL Web. Windows is going to show us the local AI capabilities. That being said, let's dive into the book of news. The book of news, of course, has its table of contents over here. We can download any visual assets. So in here, we will find the sessions that promote the latest releases, and we can switch the language into 5 available languages, being English, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, and Chinese. As we scroll down in the book of news, you're going to find a foreword, of course, an introduction of Microsoft. You're going to find some contact emails in case you have questions and want to discuss the further strategy with them. And then you have the various sections with their subsections. And of course, most important, where we find all of our information, like blog posts, downloads, breakout sessions. And for some of the areas, we even have labs where we can try out these new experiences ourselves. Of course, everything announced on build will be in the various availability states of Microsoft, so either in private preview, public preview, or general availability. Which means that some of the features are still to be tested, but especially for developers like us at Digital Bricks, or you that might be listening to these highlights or attending build, this is quite interesting because we can try out the latest and greatest technology of Microsoft. Let's dive into the new functionalities. But before we do that, there's a big recommendation of myself to have a look at Satya Nadella's opening keynote. It's already published on YouTube by Microsoft, or you can look it up on the Build website. And in this keynote, Microsoft announces the most important functionalities, and you can see Satya Nadella and some of the Microsoft leadership have interviews with some of the global leaders in the AI race, like Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, Sam Altman from OpenAI, and quite famously, Elon Musk from Grok and xAI. This keynote is packed with new information and lasts for nearly 2 hours, as you can see by the time. I would recommend everyone really to have a deep dive into this. I can understand that you cannot watch these 100 sessions or 100 plus sessions that are even available because it's a huge amount of content to create, but that's also why we did this highlight video, so you understand what's going on at Microsoft's AI. Let's dive into AI at work, where we're going to have a look at Copilot 365 and Copilot Studio. Probably the most amazing or exciting new feature for me is Copilot tuning. Fine-tuning has been a very costly effort. You need data scientists for it. You usually need also a huge amount of data. As we always say in artificial intelligence, garbage in, garbage out. So you need to feed also quality data. But Microsoft is simplifying this process of fine-tuning that was costing multiple thousands of euros and was quite a time-intensive practice, and brings it down to a very simple scale and also make it quite efficient at already smaller data sets. Let's therefore have a look at the summary video of what Copilot tuning will bring to Microsoft 365 Copilot and Copilot Studio.
Copilot tuning is a new approach to model fine-tuning that brings together the most advanced AI methods with enterprise-grade privacy, security, and governance, all in a low-code tool that unlocks all the gains without the need for an army of data scientists. With Microsoft 365 Copilot tuning, customers can now use their own company knowledge to train models and create agents that perform domain-specific tasks with a high degree of accuracy, all within the security and governance of Microsoft 365. We are abstracting away a lot of the complexity and cost traditionally associated with fine-tuning. You simply seed the training environment with a minimal set of references and kick off the training run. The customized model inherits the permissions of the source content, and once integrated into an agent, can be distributed to authorized users and accessed via M365 Copilot. And once you have the model set up, you can share it with users that have access and add it to their agent using Agent Builder. For example, if you are a legal firm, it will generate legal documents in line with the style and expertise of your organization. It will reason through existing literature, past outcomes, and client context to present arguments that are grounded in the firm's thinking and can maximize the odds of winning. That same legal firm might also choose to have fine-tuned models for other tasks, like contract summarization or expert Q&A about client information, that draw upon the subject matter expertise of its most experienced and successful professionals. Imagine taking the best specialized expert at your firm and turning it into everyone's expertise. This is exactly what this does.
Amazing, isn't it? If we have a look at what fine-tuning actually means, we see that now is the time where we build artificial intelligence that's in vertical sectors. For example, you want to go into real estate, or in the demonstration example mentioned, into legal and law. And this needs very specific expertise. As the name says, generative AI is quite general, has knowledge about all kinds of subjects, but is never really specialized. And with these fine-tuning capabilities, we can now create our own AI agents that have first our company expertise, our industry expertise, maybe deeper down on a role-specific level, and individual expertise. We can simply train a model which would have costed us weeks or months via a simple form. We can make it specify on specific tasks like document generation or summarization, and we can give it model instructions as well as knowledge sources, like, for example, SharePoint or your Microsoft Graph. And we can grant permissions, what it should be training about and what it shouldn't be training about. That means that we can also manage access to certain kind of information that should maybe stick private, making sure that our agents are governed safe and secure, and we can prepare the right labeling data with a simplified user experience. Probably the second most amazing feature from Copilot Studio is something that we've been working on as a business a lot. Digital Bricks builds AI agents. And in the past, we have built agent orchestrations with frameworks like Semantic Kernel or agent-to-agent orchestration by Google, which means sometimes you want to create agents a little bit like within your organization. You have different roles, so you have HR, you have marketing, you have finance, and now we can create experts for specific tasks that can actually communicate with each other right within Copilot Studio's low-code, no-code builder capabilities. Before, we had to use the frameworks like Semantic Kernel and Hardcode and Procode these capabilities. Now you can think about scenarios like a workplace operations agent that you can see in the screen over here, consisting out of multiple sub-agents. For example, one that is responsible for facilities and access, that provides codes to access buildings, and a space and room booking agent that makes sure we can book meeting rooms within that building. So imagine a scenario where you have a customer meeting in building number 7, you need an access key and a badge for it, and you need to make sure that the focus room is scheduled from 1 to 4 p.m. So the space and room booking agent will take care about booking your meeting room, and the facilities and access agent is making sure you get the badge access. So we can train and fine-tune these models now and have them orchestrate and talk to each other, which makes Copilot Studio now a very powerful platform for building simplified agents. Also, Copilot Studio now has new tools for the developers, from prompt libraries over custom connectors, creating REST APIs and agent flows, and of course, the quite famous and been a lot talked about MCP protocol, Model Context Protocol, which is a communication layer for artificial intelligence to communicate with each other. But something I'm very hyped about is also the new computer use capabilities. In the past, we've been building robotic process automation, either with Power Automate Desktop or Python flows or different kind of scenarios. And now we have an inbuilt computer use functionality that enables us to take over our computer, fill out step forms for us, and enrich it with generative AI capabilities. What does that mean? Think about any business process where you have to fill out a lot of forms, visit a lot of websites, log into different details and security layers. Copilot can now do that for you and act on your behalf, taking away all the annoying administrative work that you have to do in these portals and automating these steps for you. Another capability is that Copilot Studio now has been enriched with the model catalog of Azure AI Foundry. While Copilot Studio was limited before in the choice of models that you have, you can now access over 1,900 models from Azure AI Foundry, meaning you get access to Grok, meaning that you also get access to DeepSeek or any kind of other model like Mistral, Llama models, or OpenAI models that you want to be using. And also smaller models and smaller LLMs like Microsoft's own Microsoft Phi. And you can use them to empower your Copilot Studio implementation. Another feature that we've actually been thinking about building ourselves and where we see a lot of customers still struggle in artificial intelligence is Agent Feed. Agent Feed is amazing. Think about it. You're using an AI agent and it executes tasks for you. But how do you actually keep the memory or the task being executed? Although artificial intelligence offers great capabilities from an automation standpoint, we quite often have the issue that users don't really understand what has been executed, as most of the stuff, as I tend to say, automatically happens in the background nowadays. But how do we get insights into this? And Agent Feed is what is taking care about that. It shows us what our agents are executing, when they have executed it, if they've completed these tasks, from which user we've set up that task, and if failures happen. So if assistance is needed, like for example, a human-in-the-loop approval needs to be given, making sure we can step by step tick off our agent activities. Another amazing feature, and where Microsoft did a nice summary video, which I would like to show you quite quickly, is the new Copilot app for Microsoft 365, bringing together the best of the Microsoft 365 stack, generative AI capabilities, and features like Create, Notebooks, and Pages. Let's have a look at that.
I'm going to give you a quick demo of the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. Chat is at the heart of the new experience. It's the home of the app that brings together the content you've created, the conversations you've had, and the unique skills of your favorite agents. With Chat, I can ask Copilot to generate a graph based on some of the work my team has been doing to craft Copilot. Within seconds, it creates an interactive graph based on my work data. I can work with my graph right in the chat, or turn it into a live shareable page, keeping everything interactive and ready to explore with others. Copilot Notebooks organize all of my files on a particular project into one place and lets me have grounded conversations about that project with Copilot. Agents give you an AI team with specialized skills tailored to your work needs for things like deep research and analysis. You can pin your favorites for quick access, discover new ones through the agent store, or easily make your own to help with your specific job, all without ever leaving the app. With Copilot Search, we're bringing the power of search and AI together to give you more relevant, context-aware search results. It connects your work data and dozens of apps so you can quickly find what you need. And Copilot can summarize the files so you know what the content is without ever having to open the document. Copilot Create gives you a new way to make images, posters, and layouts, explore visual ideas, and easily work with the projects and files that are relevant to you. It unlocks your company's assets by combining the latest, most powerful image generation models with your company's brand kits. And of course, I can take all of this with me when I'm on the move using the mobile app. So that's the new Microsoft 365 Copilot app.
Quite amazing. Now we have a central working space combining the power of agent building, knowledge retrieval, managing our assets, image generation. So the Copilot app is really the new theme where you're going to be working in, making AI accessible and being the user experience of artificial intelligence. As Microsoft states, Copilot is the new UI of AI. That makes it very simple and accessible. Let's dive into Microsoft Azure and the latest news around that. First of all, Satya Nadella on his keynote introduced access to over 300 new models. Quite significantly, and probably most important release, is that Grok is now one of the models that's accessible. But you can also access any kind of Mistral or DeepSeek model from Azure AI Foundry, giving Agent Builder the full capability to use whatever kind of model from a large language perspective they want to use right within the Microsoft stack, making building capabilities more simplified than ever before. Another capability is that the Azure AI Foundry and the agent building service is now for general availability, so we can really take these implementations to enterprise scale. Also, a quite significant announcement is Agentic Retrieval Engine. While we had semantic search and different kind of search capabilities within Azure AI, and we could index information, agentic retrieval agents can combine multiple sources and bring these in our agents, making knowledge retrieval even more simplified and accurate than before. A quite important announcement is also the Azure Databricks connector, which is now in preview. So customers that have the data layer on Azure Databricks can now consume that and use that as a data source for the AI Foundry connection. Another massive feature is that we now can all employ multiple developers. The GitHub Copilot coding agent is your AI pair program, allows you to implement features that have assigned by a task or an issue to Copilot. So you can outsource your development workload to Copilot, have it run in the background with GitHub Actions, and submit its work basically as a pull request, meaning you can push code to Copilot and it will develop it for you. Let's dive into business apps. On business apps, we didn't see so many functionalities. We see that the main theme is AI, but there's two quite significant ones. One is that Model Context Protocol servers are now available for Dynamics 365, meaning we can now more easily than ever integrate into the business applications and the CRM and ERP platforms of Microsoft and retrieve knowledge like order numbers, product information, CRM records, or production information, and use them to feed our copilots with MCP. The probably most dominant new feature in business applications is the new solution workspace, which really blew my mind how simplified it's going to be to build applications on the Power Platform just by using language instructions. Let's have a look at that video.
Here we see a maker landing in the Power Apps Maker portal and starting to build a new solution to improve bank operations. The maker inputs the prompt to help Contoso Bank members process power of attorney requests, and they also attach an image of an ERD to their prompt. They also select the option to work with the preview features to include process mapping capabilities when building their plan. As they move forward, they move to the plan view, where the Agentic AI and Solution Workspace starts building their solution plan. It starts by generating the suggested user roles involved in the solution and the solution requirements for each of them: the branch team members, the branch manager, and the customer. At the same time, the new process mapping is being done, generating the process maps on the right side of the plan view. Once this is finished, the maker can view details and adjust where needed. The maker finalizes the process maps and, when satisfied, moves back to the overall view. The maker then confirms what they've built with agents and moves forward to the data model part of the experience. Within a few seconds, the plan is expanded with the 5 tables that will be part of the solution: the contracts, power of attorney, customer, contract history, and form submission tables. The data model is fully interactive, and if needed, the maker can open an interactive ERD view and edit the tables and their relationships. But for now, they're happy and moving forward with the solution technology. Agents in Solution Workspace generate the solution architecture that includes multiple technology artifacts, apps, automation flows, a portal, and Copilot Studio Agent. If needed, makers can replace some of the selected artifacts with existing apps or flows in their purview, but for now, they move forward to creating the artifacts. They easily move from the plan view to Microsoft Copilot Studio to work on their form submission agent. Here they see that the agent has already been created, using the specific instructions carried over from the plan and the context of the plan as well. They can continue adjusting the agent in Copilot Studio, but they want to move to building the app. Going back to the plan view, they see an app for branch procedure forms included in the solution architecture. Moving from the plan to building in Power Apps Studio is done by a single click. Now, in the App Designer view, the maker sees that the app was already generated from the plan, including multiple pages and their relations. They can see the details from the plan, helping them keep the overall context in mind.
How amazing is that? You can write out a plan to build an application, and an AI agent is fully creating all of the records from a Power App application to your Copilot Studio agents that you need, really enabling building AI and agentic applications by natural language. No coding required. This is amazing, and it enables us to describe business processes and build point solutions for specific business processes in a speed we've never seen before. Let's have a look at Edge and the news in the browser. Also in the browser, Microsoft is making everything AI first. In making first of all the Phi models available in Microsoft Edge, which means that you can use the Phi model to build directly into your Edge browser. This model offers comparable and performance to more larger models, making it a game changer for developers that want to build simplified apps that have small purposes. Think of browser plugins, for example. But also the AI APIs that are now available through the Prompt API allows us to easily model our prompt writing assistance APIs. For example, for generating, summarizing, or editing text within your Edge Canary or your dev channels. Also, the Translator API will be made available, so we can easily translate texts on websites whenever we basically need it. Talking about translation, Microsoft shows one of these capabilities with its new AI translation and creation tool in Microsoft Edge. Taking a document, obviously a Chinese document promoting Surface laptops, through the translate capabilities, turns it into English, and just like that, we get a new copy of our document, having a second version that introduces the new Surface laptops into perfectly written English. This is one of the capabilities that you could be building with these new AI APIs, but I can imagine that you want to redesign any kind of web experience and make your website available in multiple kinds of formats, bridging the barrier of accessing international customers. Security, one of the most important topics if you ask me. Although I'm a big fan of artificial intelligence and I believe it will fundamentally change the way we work and offers a lot of capabilities, security is also an aspect that we have to think about. Responsible AI use is important, ethical AI use especially, but also secure AI use, because we now see that agents become more and more powerful and can access our systems. For our European customers, it's also quite interesting to see that Microsoft has created an EU AI assessment in Azure AI Foundry, helping you to stay compliant with the upcoming EU AI Act and all of the various chapters. Have a look at that and test it out. Digital Bricks also offers consultancy around that, so we can perform this assessment together with you and advise you further on how to build technologies. Next to that, Microsoft has also introduced additional security controls in both Microsoft Purview as well as content safety. So if you want to manage how ethical, how much hate speech, sexual content, self-harm is allowed within your chatbot, in some reasons you might want to do that, usually you want to prevent that, you now have security controls where you can basically block these features and make sure your AI agent is safe from an input as well as output filter perspective, making sure your brand's reputation stays safe. And next to that, Microsoft is really looking at AI agents as the new workforce of tomorrow. Assistants that are gonna help us. And therefore, they also enable them for Microsoft Entra. So similar like you have your user roles and specifications, your authentication, authorization, identity protection, or access governance, Copilot agents are gonna get that as well. And it's available now in Copilot Studio already, as well as Azure AI Foundry. It's coming soon to the Security Copilot and Microsoft 365, as well as third-party agent applications. AI for the web is something Microsoft is promoting a lot as well, and they've introduced a new tool as well as new MCP capabilities. NL Web leverages semi-structured formats like schema or RSS feeds or other data that website already publishes and combines them with LLM-powered tools to create natural language interfaces that can be used by both humans as well as agents. So agents can, first of all, more easily communicate with your website through that layer, but users will also get a more AI-infused experience in visiting your website. Also, AI is coming to the local space. In Windows, Microsoft introduced Windows AI Foundry, bringing the artificial intelligence layer that we have for cloud applications also to your local machines. So for anyone who is building on the Silicon partner ecosystem like AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, or Qualcomm, based on CPUs, GPUs, or NPUs, you can now simplify development for AI at the local scale. This is a massive switch to also get AI to use the data that you have locally on your PC. Some final words. This Microsoft build has nothing less than amazing. I recommend watching this video and checking all of the hyperlinks that we're going to provide to the resources. Have a look at the book of news and the topics that interest you. For the people that want to learn more around artificial intelligence, I would recommend you to have a look at either digitalbricks.ai in case you are a customer, Or if you want to learn more around artificial intelligence, book our course, Empowering Business with Microsoft Copilot, a key user's guide. It currently consists out of 129 lessons and more than 27 tasks across all of the Copilots that are available, from Dynamics 365 over Azure, over the Microsoft 365 capabilities, or building your own agents on Copilot Studio. In this course, you're going to learn how to do that and how to navigate in the platform. It's an e-learning, but also available as on-site trainings for organizations that want to upskill their human resources. Next to that, this course is also available on Platan for all Companion Microsoft partners. So you can enjoy the learning journey over there for anyone that is part of the Companion network. That being said, I wish you a lot of fun, learn more prompting, start building with Digital Bricks, and start learning around artificial intelligence.